Hello, my dear music and sports lover friends. 16th July 2021, late evening wishes from Gautam Bandyopadhyay Urufe Komal Gandhar. I am now present through live on date in connection with the great sports and music stars of the world. Be present in course of my live through Facebook on date. I would love to share autobiographies in brief. First of all, Sir Pele, I call Sir Pele, king of football. After that, I would also love to share autobiographies in brief about Donald Bradman, Sir Donald Bradman. So now I start autobiographies of Sir Pele. Exclusively, I love to share for my younger generation friends, brother and sisters. So now I start the brief autobiography of Sir Pele. Pele is a Brazilian soccer player considered to be the greatest player of all time. He was a member of the Brazilian team that won three World Cups in the year 1958, 1962 and in the year 1970. Pele was called the king of football, and he was the highest paid athlete in the world during his time. Pele was born as Edson Ernst do Nascimento on October 23rd, 1940 in Brazil to João Ramos and Dona Cleste Arnates. He is the elder of two siblings. His parents named him after the American inventor Thomas Alva Edison. He got his nickname Pele from his friend when he was in school. Edson once mispronounced the goalkeeper Pele's name as Pele, and it stuck. Pele grew up in a low-income environment. From a very young age, Pele had to start doing odd jobs to earn money and support his family. His father was a former soccer player, which nurtured his interest in the sport. He was the one who taught Pele to play football. Sometimes Pele would practice by filling shocks with rugs because he could not afford a real ball. Pele soon started training under Waldemar de Brito, a former member of the Brazilian national soccer team. His coach recognized his talent and wanted him to participate in the Santos Professional Soccer Club. At the age of 15, he left his home and tried out for Santos Football Club. He signed a contract with the club in the year 1956. Pele played his first professional game that year at the age of 16 only. He secured the first professional goal of his career. By 1957, he was a permanent player in the team. Soon he was also the top scorer in the league. This performance of his landed him in the national team of Brazil. In 1957, Pele played his first international game against Argentina. Even though his team did not win, Pele became the youngest player ever to score a goal in an international soccer tournament. The year 1958 was the turning point in Pele's career. In 1958, he participated in his first World Cup in Sweden. He made history by breaking several records. He scored a total of 6 goals in 4 games that season, making Brazil the winning team of the year. Pele also helped his team with the Campeonato Paulista League, a top-tier professional soccer league in Brazil. He was the top scorer with 58 goals, which is a record in itself and remains unbroken. In 1962, Pele took part in the second World Cup tournament. Due to severe injuries, he had to leave the tournament after 2 games. But Brazil went on to win the World Cup for the second time. That year, Santos FC participated in and won the Copa Libertadores competition, Campeonato Brasileiro, and the 1962 International Cup. Pele's most significant career moment came in 1969 when he scored his 1000th goal during the US League against Vasco da Gama. The goal was dubbed as the 1000th. 1970 was another major year for Pele as he participated in his last World Cup. Brazil won the World Cup in Mexico, and Pele was applauded for his outstanding performance, including a goal in the finals. In the year 1974, Pele announced his retirement. The 1974 season with Santos was his 19th and final season with the team. In 1975, he signed a $7 million contract with the New York Cosmos and played with them for a short while. Pele helped the club to win the 1977 National Championship and officially retired from soccer. Pele has received many prestigious awards and honors in his life, and not just for sports. In 1978, he received the International Peace Award for his work with UNICEF. He worked as UN Goodwill Ambassador for the Earth Summit in 1992. In 1995, he was named as the UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador and he received Brazil's gold medal for his contribution to sports and humanitarian and environmental problems. In 1997, he was honored as a Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire. In 2005, he received the BBC Sports Personality of the Year Lifetime Achievement Award. Pele has been married and divorced twice and is currently married for a third time to Marcia Oyoki, with whom he tied the knot in 2016. He is the father of 7 children. The term "the beautiful game," a synonym for soccer, was popularized by Pele, while the actual origin of the phrase is unknown. Pele used this phrase in his 1977 autobiography, My Life and the Beautiful Game, and it caught on. People called him the Black Pearl, the king of football, and simply the king. So, dear sports lover friends, my young generation friends, so this was the brief life history of Pele. Now, in the second phase, I love to share the autobiography in brief of Sir Donald Bradman. Sir Donald Bradman was an Australian cricketer, commonly referred to as the Don. He had a test batting average of 99.94. This has been called as the greatest achievement by a sportsman in any major sport. In 1997, in 1997, John Howard, Prime Minister of Australia, called him the greatest living Australian. Bradman was born to George and Emily Bradman on August 27, 1908, in New South Wales, Australia. Bradman played cricket from a very early age. As a child, Bradman worked on his timing by hitting a golf ball against a water tank. Bradman scored his first century when he was merely 12 years old. While playing for his high school, Bradman made his debut when he was 19 years old at the Adelaide Oval. He scored 118 runs for the New South Wales cricket team. In 1928, the cricketer played his first test match against England. His debut performance was not noteworthy, but he scored 79 and 112 runs in the third test match at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Bradman became the youngest player at the time to have scored a Test century. In 1930, he was chosen to play in the Ashes series against England. He scored 131 and 254 runs in the first and second tests respectively. In the third test match, he recorded a triple century and scored a double century in the fourth and final match, thus contributing to Australia's win in the Ashes. The 1932 to 1933 Ashes series was held in Australia. The English player Douglas Jardine came up with the bodyline tactics to combat the batting skills of Bradman. This bowling tactic was considered to be physically threatening for a batsman. This affected Bradman's performance in the match. His batting average of the series was 56. England won the series. In the 1938 Tour of England, the cricketer performed exceedingly well. Bradman played in 26 innings and scored 13 centuries for his team. During the Second World War in the year 1940, the cricketer joined the Royal Australian Air Force on aircrew duty. However, he soon got transferred to the army as a lieutenant. Bradman was posted at the Army School of Physical Training. His health was severely affected during his time there due to the stressful job. In 1941, he was discharged from service. In the mid-1940s, Bradman returned to cricket. He played his final test match at the Oval in 1948 against England. The cricketer ended his career with a test batting average of 99.94. Bradman is the only test player to have scored 300 runs in a single day. Donald Bradman scored 6,996 runs in 52 test matches throughout his career. He has scored a total of 29 international test centuries. He held the record of scoring 974 runs in a series, the most scored by any player in test history till date. In 1949, he was knighted for his services as cricketer. Bradman is the only Australian cricketer to have gotten such an honour. In 1979, the Australian government honoured him with the title of a Companion of the Order of Australia. He was called the greatest cricketer of the 20th century by the Wisden Cricket Almanac in 2000. Bradman married Jessie Martha Menzies in 1932. After a 12-year-long courtship, Lady Bradman passed away in 1997 due to cancer. She was 88 years old. Sir Donald Bradman died at the age of 92 on February 25, 2001. The cricketer wrote a few books in his lifetime. His first book, called Don Bradman's Book, The Story of My Cricketing Life with Hints on Batting, Bowling and Fielding, was published in the year 1930. Other books by Bradman include my cricketing life, farewell to cricket and the art of cricket. The Royal Australian Mint issued a commemorative gold coin with the image of the cricketer on August 27, 2008. In the following year, Sir Bradman was inducted into the ICC Cricket Hall of Fame. So, dear friends, this was about which I shared a brief autobiographies Sir Pele and Sir Donald Bradman. And this is exclusively which I shared for my younger youth generation friends, sisters, brothers, and my loving friends too. So I also now love to share a brief autobiography about Diego Maradona. Diego Maradona is a former Argentinian football player and is considered to be one of the greatest football players of all time. Diego helped his teams become champions in Argentina, Italy, and Spain. He was part of the Argentinian national team that won the 1986 World Cup. Diego Armando Maradona was born on October 30, 1960 in Lanús, Argentina, to Diego Sir and Dalma Salvador Franco. He grew up in a low-income family and suffered financially. He was gifted a soccer ball at the age of 3 and he took an immediate interest in the game. When Maradona was 8, he played in a local football club called Estrella Roja. The scout immediately selected the young Maradona for the youth team of Buenos Aires, Argentinians Juniors. He became the leading player on their team named Las Cebollitas, the Little Onions, on the biggest junior clubs in Argentina at the age of 10 only. Maradona got his first big break at the age of 14. In the year 1976, he started playing with Argentinians Juniors itself at the age of 14 only, and just 4 months later, he also joined the junior national team, becoming the youngest player to do so. He played for 5 years in the club. While there, he scored 115 goals in 167 games before moving to the Boca Juniors. He was signed on for $1 million in 1981. Diego managed to uplift his family from poverty on the basis of this contract. The same year, he contributed to the success of his club when he won them the league championship. After the league's success, Maradona was selected for the Argentinian senior national team, getting the opportunity to play in the year 1982 World Cup was a career high for Maradona. However, his team didn't do so as well as expected. Maradona transferred to Spain's FC Barcelona. After his failure at the World Cup, he signed a $5 million contract, a record-setting fee at the time. He proved quite beneficial for the team in the year 1983. Maradona led the team to winning the Copa del Rey and Spanish Super Cup. In just 2 years, he had scored 38 goals in 58 matches. But Maradona suffered quite a bit while he was in Barcelona. He fell ill and sustained multiple injuries. It took him 3 months to recover fully. After his recovery, he decided to transfer to an Italian team called SSC Napoli in the year 1984. Maradona performed incredibly well during his time in Napoli. He even grabbed the media's attention. During 1986 to 87 and 1989 to 90, he directed the team for 2 seasons and won the Series A Italian championship twice. In 1986, Maradona led the Argentinian team to victory at the FIFA World Cup. He scored 2 of the most remarkable goals in World Cup history during a quarter-final against England. His second goal in the quarter-finals was voted as the goal of the century by FIFA. Come users, he also awarded the Golden Ball Award for being the top scorer. Apart from the World Cup, he was also on the winning team, SSC Napoli of the Coppa Italia in 1987 and the UEFA Cup in the year 1989. In 1990, Maradona once again became the Argentinian captain for the 1990 FIFA World Cup. However, they did not win the trophy this time around and could only reach the finals. In 1992, Maradona left Napoli to join the Spanish team, Sevilla FC, for a year. Maradona also participated in the year 1994 FIFA World Cup but was disqualified for testing positive for the drug ephedrine. After a prosperous 17-year-long career, Maradona declared his retirement in the year 1997. In these years after his retirement, he suffered from a lot of health issues. He was hospitalized a couple of times due to heart problems. He also had to undergo surgery to curb his obesity. Being a former football star, Maradona started training other players. In the year 2008, he became the head coach of the Argentinian national team till after the 2010 World Cup, where they lost a quarter-final against Germany. Maradona married Claudia Villafane on November 7, 1984. But the marriage did not last as the couple divorced in the year 2004. Maradona is the father of 2 daughters that he had with Villafane. So, exclusively for my young generations, young brothers and sisters, to who those are deeply associated with the sports, and my other sports and music lover friends. Now I love to share. This was about brief life history of Sir Pele, Sir Donald Bradman, and also I call Sir Maradona. Now I love to share world's greatest musicians. I love to share all the Hindustani classical music personalities, stars of our country, their autobiography time to time, right from the vocalist, instrumentalist, legendary vocalist, instrumentalist, and rhythm wizard maestros. But now, on date, I have decided to share the autobiography of the music personalities Western music personalities, uh, just like as Ludwig van Beethoven, Sir Beethoven, I call Sir Beethoven. Ludwig van Beethoven was a composer and musician who connected the classical and romantic ages of Western music. Beethoven was born in the electorate of Cologne, a principality of the Holy Roman Empire. Beethoven was the eldest child of John van Beethoven and Maria Magdalena Keverich. His father was a court musician. Beethoven belonged to a musical family. His grandfather was a singer in the choir of the Archbishop Elector of Cologne, and later he became the Kapellmeister. Ludwig learned the violin and clavier from his father. Ludwig van Beethoven's first recital took place in the year 1778. He attended the Latin grade school in Tirusinium. He left his education at the age of just 11 in order to pursue music. He went on to study music under Christian Gottlieb Neefe. He used to fill Neefe's position as a church organist in his absence. At 12 years of age, Beethoven created his first composition, 9 variations on a march by Dressler, a set of piano variations. Ludwig Beethoven left for Vienna, Austria in the year 1787. It is assumed that he wanted to make Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart his guide. However, he had to come back to Bonn due to the ailing health of his mother, who died the same year. Beethoven was given the honor of composing a musical memorial for the demise of the Holy Roman Emperor Joseph II in the year 1790. His composition, Cantata on the Death of Emperor Joseph II, was found a century later. After the demise of his father, Beethoven went back to Vienna. Here he learned music under the guidance of Joseph Haydn. He acquired the reputation of piano while in Vienna. In 1795, Beethoven published his first mature work. It was a series of 3 piano trios called Opus 1, 3 trios for piano, violin, and cello. It was supposedly dedicated to his patron, Prince Leonovsky. He completed his work, containing his first 6 quarters, in 1799. Beethoven's ballet, The Creatures of Prometheus, was first performed in the year 1801. It gained immense popularity. In 1801, at the age of 30, Beethoven addressed a letter to a friend, Franz Wegler, saying, "For the last 3 years, my hearing has grown steadily weaker." He further described his feelings about his deafness. "I must confess that I lead a miserable life for almost 2 years. I have ceased to attend any social functions just because I find it impossible to say to people, 'I am deaf.' If I had any other profession, I might be able to cope with my infirmity. But in my profession, it is a terrible handicap." He was advised by his doctor to live in Heiligenstadt and small town outside Vienna. He wrote his famous Heiligenstadt Testament to a letter to his brothers in the year 1802. Even with his increasing deafness, Beethoven continued to compose at an alarming rate. The years from 1803 to 1812 are considered to be the heroic period. During this time, he was immersed in producing numerous piano sonnets, symphonies, string sonnets, string quartets, solo, piano variations, overtures, trios, sextets, and many songs. He also composed an opera, Fidelio. It is his only opera composition. In May 1799, Beethoven taught music to the daughters of the Hungarian Count Graf von Brunswick. Von Brunswick, he was supposedly attracted to the youngest daughter, Josephine. However, they did not get married. Instead, Josephine later married Graf Don Dame. When Dame died in the year 1804, Beethoven and Josephine's relationship supposedly intensified. It is suggested that she might be Beethoven's immortal beloved. In the July of 1812, Beethoven addressed two love letters to confess his feelings to his immortal beloved. After his death, three letters were found from his locker, which either might never have been sent or were sent but returned. Till date, the identity of Beethoven's immortal beloved remains a mystery. Ludwig van Beethoven died on March 26, 1827, at the age of 56 only. He died from cirrhosis of the liver in Vienna. Now, I would also love to share the autobiographies in brief of the great musician Madonna. Madonna Louise Ciccone is an American singer, performer, and actor. She is called the Queen of Pop music. She is known for reinventing her style of music and image in the music industry. Madonna was born to Silvio Ciccone and Madonna 14 on 16th August 1958 in Michigan, United States. Her father was an engineer. Madonna is the third child of her parents. She has 7 siblings. The Ciccone family belonged to the Catholic faith. After her mother's death, her father remarried. Madonna was a hardworking and disciplined student. She graduated early and in 1976 got accepted to the University of Michigan, where she studied dance for 2 years. Madonna moved to New York after dropping out of the university, pursue a career in dance. She did odd jobs to pay her rent. The following year, she attended Alvin Ailey's American Dance Theater. Madonna played drums in and sang for a number of New York-based groups, including Eminem, the Millionaires, and the Breakfast Club. Madonna also played a part in the movie A Certain Sacrifice in the year 1979. Madonna signed with Sir Records. Her first single, Everybody, from 1982, topped the dance charts in 1983. her first album, Madonna, was released, which gradually gained success. It was her second album, Like a Virgin, which gave her international recognition. It sold over 10 million copies. The title track of this album was number one on the Billboard Hot 100 charts of 6 weeks. In 1985, she starred in the film Desperately Seeking Susan. She also sang into the grove for this movie. She sang Crazy for You. She sang Crazy for You the same year for the movie Vision Quest, which also hit the number one spot in the Billboard Hot 100 category. She also went on her first concert tour called the Virgin Tour the same year. In 1986, her album True Blue came out. It contained the hit singles Papa Don't Preach, True Blue, and Live to Tell. In 1990, she released her compilation album, The Immaculate Collection. Madonna co-founded Mervyn Records in association with the Warner Music Group in 1992. In 1996, she played Eva Peron in the musical drama Evita and received the Golden Globe, the Best Actress, Musical or Comedy, for this performance in the year 1997. Madonna is also associated with production companies and fashion lines. These include Hard Candy Fitness, Truth or Dare by Madonna, and Material Girl. She received her first Grammy Award in the year 1991. She first received Grammy Award in the year 1991 for Madonna Blonde Ambition World Tour Live in the category of Best Music Video Long Form. She has won 6 more Grammy Awards since then. Madonna is credited with over 16 Guinness World Records. Her world records include highest grossing music tour by a female artist, most US top 40 singles entries by a female artist, most number one albums by a female artist UK albums chart, and oldest artist to simultaneously top the UK singles and album charts. Madonna was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and was named world's wealthiest female musician for Forbes magazine in the year 2008. Madonna married actor Sean Penn in 1985. They divorced 4 years later. She then married director Guy Ritchie in 2000. They had a son. Madonna and Ritchie separated in the year 2008. Madonna is a mother of 6 children. Madonna launched a short film at the Art of Freedom initiative in the year 2013. It aimed to promote free speech to address persecution and injustice across the globe. She founded the Ray of Light Foundation in the year 1998. She also co-founded a charitable organization raising Malawi. It works to provide health, education, and community support to vulnerable children in Malawi. In July 2017, she established a children's hospital called the Mercy James Institute for pediatric surgery and intensive care at the Queen Central Hospital in Malawi. So, dear friend, this was the music personalities autobiographies. Now, I also love to share the autobiographies in brief about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, my favorite and very keen to listen her music. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was a popular and prolific music composer of the classical period. He has created over 600 compositions that include sonnets, symphonies, operas, chamber music, and other concertos too. John Christopher Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, baptized as Johannes Chrysostomus Wolfgangus and Theophilus Mozart, was born on 27th January 1756 to Leopold Mozart and Anna Maria Part. Leopold was musically inclined. He was a composer and an author who wrote about violin playing and was a part of the court of the Archbishop of Salzburg. Leopold Mozart taught music and academics to his children. Mozart played the piano, the violin, and other instruments. Wolfgang gave his first musical performance at the age of 6 only, in the Bavarian court in Munich, Germany. Wolfgang and his sister Narelle went on to perform in the courts of London, Paris, Zurich, and The Hague. At the age of 17, Wolfgang Mozart was made an assistant concertmaster at Salzburg by Prince Archbishop von Colorado. Mozart wrote 5 violin concerts during this time. He then shifted his focus to piano concert. In 1977, Wolfgang Mozart resigned from his position at the court of Salzburg. He went on trips to Munich, Augsburg, and Mannheim. Mozart did find several employment opportunities, but nothing promising. He was in debt and had to pawn goods in order to meet his expenses. In 1978, Mozart's mother died. The next year, Wolfgang went back to Salzburg, where his father had got him a position at the court as an organist. Wolfgang Mozart wrote an opera for Munich, Idomeneo, in 1781. In March of the same year, Mozart was summoned to Vienna by Archbishop von Colorado. Mozart was treated like a servant and was extremely underpaid like a servant. He felt disrespected and resigned from the post. He began composing the opera Die Entry Hung and Gestem serial, The Abdication from the Sergelio. This opera premiered on 16 July 1782. He also gave performances as a pianist. John Sebastian Bach and George Friedrich Handel inspired Mozart to work with the Baroque style of composition. He composed a Mass in C minor. Kyrie and Gloria were in the first 2 and only completed sections in 1783. Mozart went to visit his home at Salzburg with his family. Mozart composed 6 quartets dedicated to Joseph Haydn from 1782 to 1785. In the year 1786, he collaborated with the librettist Lorenzo da Ponte to produce the operas. The Marriage of Figaro and Don Giovanni. These are considered to be the two of his most important works. Both the operas are appreciated for bringing a connection between music and drama. Mozart had also started keeping a catalogue of his compositions. Emperor Joseph II appointed Mozart as his chamber composer in the December of 1787. Mozart then composed his last three symphonies, 39, 40 and 41, and the last of the three Da Ponte operas. He would borrow money from his friends, mainly Mason Michael Puchbach, to meet the expenses. 1790 to 91 are considered to be his most productive years. He composed the opera The Magical Flute at this time. He also created a piano concert in B flat, clarinet concerto A major, and an unfinished Requiem K626. His health began to deteriorate in the September of 1791. On 5th December 1791, he passed away at the age of 35 years only. The cause of his death was rheumatic inflammatory fever. Mozart married Constanze Weber on 4th August 1782. They had 6 children, but only 2 children, Carl Thomas and Franz Xavier, survived. Now, lastly, I love to share about Michael Jackson. So, yes, now I love to share about my young generation friends and my friends too, at the same age like me. So, these are the western part of my music personalities and sports personalities on date presentation through live Facebook. So I will also love to wave with all of you, dear friends, after ending my session. And this lastly about Michael Jackson, I would love to share his autobiography in brief, and thereafter at the ending session I would like to finish my on-date presentation by reciting Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore's 2 or 3 poems on date. So, Michael Jackson, about Michael Jackson. Michael Joseph Jackson was an African-American singer, dancer, and recording artist. He is popularly referred to as the King of Pop. His album Thriller is the biggest seller of all times. Michael Joseph Jackson was born in Gary, Indiana on 29th August 1958. His mother, Catherine Jackson, was a homemaker. His father, Joseph Jackson, was a crane operator at a steel plant. Michael Jackson was the 7th amongst 9 siblings. Joseph Jackson had musical ambitions for himself. He kept his aspirations alive through his children. They created a family band called the Jackson 5 when Michael was 5 years old. He became the group's lead vocalist. They even did local gigs and bars and clubs. The band signed its first major record with the Motown Records in the year 1969. Their first album, Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5 was released in the year 1969 month December. They scored 4 consecutive number 1 pop hits with I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save, and I Will Be There in 1970. Next year, they had a cartoon show title after them. In the year 1976, the group withdrew their label from Motown Records. They changed their name to the Jacksons and started production with Epic Records. Michael Jackson produced his first solo album with music producer Quincy Jones in 1979. In 1979, his solo album Off the Wall was released. It eventually sold 20 million copies all around the world. It had 4 singles in the US top 10 hits. In 1984, Michael Jackson did a final tour with his family band for their album Victory. Michael Jackson's second album, Thriller, came out in the year 1982. It is the largest selling album in recording history. It made Jackson the first recording artist to simultaneously hold both the singles and album charts for both rhythm and blues and pop. The album sold more than 38 million copies globally. The singles Beat It, Billie Jean, and Thriller belong to this album. In the March of 1983, Michael Jackson performed on a TV special, Motown 25. He debuted his famous dance move, the moonwalk, while performing Billie Jean. Other albums by Michael Jackson include Bad, Dangerous, and Invincible in 1988. He released an autobiography titled Moonwalk. It was also included in the New York Times bestseller list. During the 1980s, Jackson became the talk of the nation for his allegedly frequent plastic surgeries and the skin pigments disease, vitiligo, which he claimed to have. Michael Jackson bought a 2,700-acre property in Los Alamos, California in the year 1988. He named it Neverland. It was a fantasy retreat for him. His 8th album, Dangerous, came out in 1991 and became the best-selling album of the year worldwide. In 1992, Michael Jackson founded an organization called Heal the World. In the October of 2001, his last full-length album, Invincible, was released. Michael Jackson was being included in the Guinness World Records 39 times. He has been awarded 14 Grammy Awards, including the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in the year 2010. He has also been honored with 26 American Music Awards. He has been inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Songwriters Hall of Fame, Dance Hall of Fame, and Hollywood Hall of Fame. Jackson married Lisa Marie Presley, daughter of the late Elvis Presley, in 1994. They separated after 2 years of marriage. He married Deborah Rowe in 1996. They had 2 children together. They divorced in the year 1999 and Jackson got full custody of the children. he had another child, Prince Michael Blanket Jackson II, through surrogacy. On June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson passed away due to a cardiac arrest. On 7th July 2009, a televised memorial was held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. 17,500 free tickets were issued for this event. It had a viewership of 1 billion people online and on TV. On 3rd September 2009, a private funeral was held for him at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. There were memorials erected in his honor. One of them was erected at his childhood home in Gary, Indiana. The Lunar Republic Society renamed a crater on the moon after him. In October 2009, This Is It, a documentary about Jackson's tour preparation, was released. It became one of the highest grossing concert films of all time. So, dear friends, my dear young, energetic youth generation friends and friends at the same age like me, who those are watching through my live Facebook, I love to present every day, almost every day, with my music related subjects and literature related subjects, but exclusively I had decided to share for my young youth generation friends with the autobiographies of sports stars and music stars of the world. So, at the ending point of session, ending time of my Facebook live presentation on date, I love to end by recalling and offering floral tribute by reciting one or two or three poems of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, like every day. এবার আমি গুরুদেব রবীন্দ্রনাথ ঠাকুরের প্রতি শ্রদ্ধা নিবেদন করে তার কটি দুটো তিনটে ছোট্ট কবিতা নিবেদন করি, তারপর গুরু প্রণতি দিয়ে আজকের অনুষ্ঠানের ইতি করব, বিদায় নেব। এবং বিদায় নেবার পূর্বে আপনাদের প্রত্যেকের সঙ্গে ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি আমি ওয়েব করব। গীতালি হতে জ্যোতি ভেঙেছে দুয়ার, এসেছে ও জ্যোতির্ময়, তোমারই হোক জয়। ভেঙেছ দুয়ার, এসেছ জ্যোতির্ময়, তোমারই হোক জয়। তিমির বিদার উদার অভুদয়, তোমারই হোক জয়। হে বিজয়ী বীর, নবজীবনের প্রাতে, নবীন আশার খড়গ তোমার হাতে। জীর্ণ আবেশ কাটো সুকঠোর ঘাতে, বন্ধন হোক ক্ষয়, তোমারই হোক জয়। এসো দুঃসহ, এসো নির্দয়, তোমারই হোক জয়। এসো নির্মল, এসো এসো নির্ভয়, তোমারই হোক জয়। প্রভাত সূর্য এসেছ রুদ্র সাজে, দুঃখের পথে তোমার তুর্য বাজে। অরুণ বন্যী জ্বালাও চিত্ত মাঝে, মৃত্যুর হোক লয়, তোমারই হোক জয়। এটি গুরুদেব রচনা করেছিলেন এলাহাবাদে প্রভাত 30শে আশ্বিন 1321 খ্রিস্টাব্দে। আরেকটি অন্য কবিতা গীতালি হতে কলিকা। মুদিত আলোর কমল কলিকাটিরে রেখেছে সন্ধ্যা আধার পর্ণপুটে, উতরিবে যাবে নব প্রভাতের তীরে, তরুণ কমল আপনি উঠিবে ফুটে। উদয় চলের সে তীর্থ পথে আমি চলেছি একলা, সন্ধ্যার অনুগামী দিনান্ত মোর দিগন্তে পরে লুটে। সেই প্রভাতের স্নিগ্ধ সুদূর গন্ধ আধার বাহিয়া রহিয়া রহিয়া আসে, আকাশে যে গান ঘুমাইছে নিস্পন্দ, তারাদ্বীপগুলি কাঁপিছে তাহারি শ্বাসে। অন্ধকারের বিপুল গভীর আশা, অন্ধকারের ধ্যান নিমগ্ন ভাষা, বাণী খুঁজে ফিরে আমার চিত্তাকাশে। জীবনের পথ দিনের প্রান্তে এসে নিশীথের পানে গহনে হয়েছে হারা। অঙ্গুলি তুলি তারাগুলি অনিমেষে মাভই বলিয়া নীরবে দিতেছে সারা। ম্লান দিবসের শেষের কুসুম তুলে একুল হইতে নবজীবনের কুলে চলেছি আমার যাত্রা করিতে সারা। হে মোর সন্ধ্যা, যাহা কিছু ছিল সাথে রাখিনু তোমার অঞ্চল তলে, ঢাকি আধারের সাথী তোমার করুণ হাতে বাঁধিয়া দিলাম আমার হাতের রাখি। কত যে প্রাতের আশা ও রাতের গীতি, কত যে সুখের স্মৃতি ও দুঃখের প্রীতি, বিদায় বেলায় আজিও রহিল বাকি। যা কিছু পেয়েছি, যা কিছু গেল চুকে, চলিতে চলিতে পিছে যা রহিল পড়ে। যে মনি দুলিল, যে ব্যথা বিধিল বুকে, ছায়া হয়ে যাহা মিলায় দিগন্তরে। জীবনের ধন কিছুই যাবে না ফেলা, ধুলায় তাদের যত হোক অবহেলা। পূর্ণের পদপরশ তাদের পরে। এটিও গুরুদেব এলাহাবাদে রচনা করেছিলেন সন্ধ্যায় 3রা কার্তিক 1321 খ্রিস্টাব্দে। আর একটি এলাহাবাদে রচিত গুরুদেবের কবিতা দিয়ে আজকের অনুষ্ঠানের শেষ করব। অঞ্জলি, বলাকা হতে অঞ্জলি কবিতাটি। এই তীর্থ দেবতার ধরণীর মন্দির প্রাঙ্গণে যে পূজার পুষ্পাঞ্জলি সাজাইনু সযত্ন চয়নে, সায়ান্নের শেষ আয়োজন যে পুণ্য প্রণাম খানি মোর সারা জীবনের অন্তরের অনির্বাণ বাণী। জ্বালায় রাখিয়া গেনু আরতির সন্ধ্যা দীপ মুখে, সে আমার নিবেদন তোমাদের সবার সম্মুখে। হে মোর অতিথি যত, তোমরা এসেছো এ জীবনে, কেহ প্রাতে কেহ রাতে, বসন্তে শ্রাবণ বরিশনে, কারো হাতে বীণা ছিল, কেহ বা কম্পিত দীপ শিখা এনেছিলে মোর ঘরে। দ্বার খুলে দুরন্ত ঝটিকা বারবার এনেছো প্রাঙ্গণে, যখন গিয়েছো চলে দেবতার পদচিহ্ন রেখে গেছো মোর গৃহতলে, আমার দেবতা নিল তোমাদের সকলের নাম, রহিল পূজায় মোর তোমাদের সবারে প্রণাম। এটিও এলাহাবাদেই প্রভাত 3রা কার্তিক 1321 খ্রিস্টাব্দে গুরুদেব রচনা করেছিলেন। এইভাবে আজকের আমার ফেসবুক লাইভের উপস্থাপনার শেষ লগ্নে চলে এসেছি। একেবারে গুরু প্রণতি এবং পূর্ণাহুতি মন্ত্র দিয়ে প্রতিদিনের ন্যায় শেষ করব। তার আগে আপনাদের সঙ্গে একবার ওয়েব করে নিই। আমার বন্ধু তাপস রক্ষিত দাদা ফ্রম ব্যাঙ্গালোর, মধুমিতা চ্যাটার্জি, আশিস চ্যাটার্জি ফ্রম পাটনা, কান্তা গনেরিওয়ালা জি ফ্রম বৃন্দাবন, আচ্ছা, বিশ্বজিৎ মুখার্জি ফ্রম দিল্লি, and Manjushree Panda from Kolkata Joyashree Park. Thank you, dear friends. So jubilant to have seen all of you in course of my Facebook live on date. গুরু প্রণতি দিয়ে শুভরাত্রি জানিয়ে আজকের মতন বিদায়। গুরুর ব্রহ্মা গুরুর বিষ্ণু গুরুদেব মহেশ্বর, গুরুর সাক্ষাৎ পরং ব্রহ্ম তস্मै শ্রী গুরবে নমঃ। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मृतं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं दन्दातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्मस्वदिलक्षम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदिशाक्षिभूतं भवातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। ओम नमः शिवाय गुरवे सच्चिदानन्दमूर्ते। ओम नमः शिवाय गुरवे सच्चिदानन्दमूर्ते। ओम नमः शिवाय गुरवे सच्चिदानन्दमूर्ते। ओम पूर्णमदं पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। शुभरात्रि शुभरात्रि शुभरात्रि। वेरी गुड नाइट, वेरी गुड नाइट, वेरी गुड नाइट।